So welcome. Thanks for spending your lunch hour with us. Actually, it's only half an hour, 30 minutes of your day to improve your business. You're on the webinar, Local Marketing Tactics You Can Take to the Bank. If you landed here on accident, I'm sorry, but hopefully you'll stick it out with us. I'm going to go to, this was the polling question I did. If you stick with us to the end, we do have some really good offers, and those of you that are interested in lowering your back office overhead have an opportunity to get a $25 gift card, so hang out for that. We're going to cover a lot in just 30 minutes, including the 5-step approach to attract and retain great customers, some local marketing tactics, kind of the nitty-gritty of where you're going to find the best bang for your buck. And we'll do a Q&A, and we'll learn some interesting information about credit card processing today, too. So let's get going. So the who, what, when, where, why, and how. So answering these simple questions for your business sets you up for marketing success and helps you determine how to be time and cost effective with your marketing strategy. And most of you on the call are not marketing people, you're professionals of all walks. So there are a lot of tactics out there that you can use to kind of find a method in the madness. So that's what we're going to try to do today, is for all the different types of businesses that are on the phone, which may be dentists, doctors, optometrists, different types of service organizations. This information can apply to you because you're going to be able to personalize it for yourself. So the keys to the puzzle are strategy, consistency, strong messaging, and then obviously localizing and getting the best practices in order. So let's take 2 minutes right now to brainstorm individually and write down the answers to these questions for you. You can go ahead and grab your worksheet. The basics of these are helping you figure out who your ideal customer is. That's kind of like the trickiest part of marketing strategy, is identifying who you're talking to and what's going to hit to them, what's important to them. When your clients try to seek you out, when are they really ready to buy? What's the optimum time to reach them? Where will you find them? Why does your business meet a specific need? What's the real problem that you solve? And then finally, how do you help? Dig deep, think through what your real value proposition is. If you're a dentist, you don't just clean teeth, right? You solve real medical problems. You keep people healthy. You diagnose gum disease or oral cancers. So don't get pigeonholed into one thing. Broaden the depth of your value to your customer base. This will build your credibility, encourages loyalty. If you're a plastic surgeon, you don't just make people look beautiful. You help them feel their best and live their best life. So think of that as you're going through these. I'm going to be quiet for 2 whole minutes and let you guys fill this out really quick. This is really important to lay the groundwork for your marketing for the rest of the year. Okay. Hopefully you had enough time to kind of go through this and jot some ideas down as I was going through these, but you can always come back to this later and finish filling it out. Now I'm going to introduce my counterpart, Kimber McCafferty, who is going to take you into the next section here on making your customer experience memorable.
Thank you, Danielle, and thank you for everyone joining us today. We're just going to talk a little bit about here on what you can do to make your customer experience more memorable, because it all does really add up. Your patient and customer experience, it all matters. And now that you know the 5 W's of your ideal client, let's think through your current customer experience. How do customers find you? Do you have a clean website? Does it show up on the Google local map when people do search for you? And we will cover this a little bit more later to make you privy to how that happened if it's not happening for your company today. When they arrive to your location, can they find parking easily? Is there great signage out front so they know where they are, where you are? What are they greeted with in the lobby or in the waiting room? These, again, are just small things for you to think about. Does it smell nice? Is there something decent to read or drink while they wait? If you're drawing a blank or shaking your head no to most of these questions now, then we've got some work to do. Delivering a stellar customer experience does more than you get in your good reviews online and your next referral. It does build loyalty because your customers know they can count on you. They can count on your delicious lemon water in the lobby or a super clean restroom with mints. And it's the little things that keep them coming back. So looking organized, being professional, offering a small giveaway, and really making that customer experience intimate for them. Small little things that are going to add up and have people come back into your doors. Danielle, I'm going to throw it back over to you so you can go through this 5-step approach of distinguishing your brand, creating a simple marketing plan, understanding your customers, creating a relatable content, and executing everything with consistency.
All right, thanks, Kim. So here's the basics of building a solid branding strategy. And branding builds over time. It doesn't just happen instantaneously. But branding is important because this is where your recognition, loyalty, and referrals for your local business are going to come from. So it starts by distinguishing your brand, and the basics of this are having a great professional look and feel, get a logo designed professionally, hire a great freelancer if you need to. Write a tagline, hire a copywriter if you need to. There's one short phrase that sums up your value proposition. It sounds really simple. It's actually harder than you would think. And Kim and I are both copywriters, so we know. There's a lot more to distinguishing your brand that you'll do on your website also. But it starts with deciding what you want to project to your customers and then executing on it consistently. And you'll do that through building a small marketing plan. If you grabbed our marketing white paper from one of the emails before joining the webinar today, you can actually use that white paper as the outline to build your plan. And the plan should include your intentions for how you're going to position your business, the tactics that you plan to use, and then how you're going to measure success. And it doesn't need to be super formal, but it does need to be written down because it will really help you. You'll also need to understand your customers, survey your target market, write down, do some competitive research, look online and then maybe go around and check out some other local businesses similar to yours, figure out who they are, where they're marketing, how they're positioning themselves, how they've differentiated themselves. All of that can give you some really important clues into what's going to be the best way for you to succeed in your own industry.
When we talk about getting local, as a local business, there are specific things that you can do to optimize your local presence. And it starts with your online search presence. Having a simple, clean, user-friendly website where it's super clear who you are, what you do, how much you charge when you're open, and how customers can get started with you. All of these things are imperative to success when you talk about brand recognition, establishing brand awareness once people get to know you better, and then subsequently having that brand equity that we're all trying to achieve. Having online reviews is very important to boost organic search, and it can help show you up in a higher ranking on the local listings. So you do want to update your company profile on Google+, Yelp, yp.com. You do want to have a built-out Facebook page and LinkedIn company page where you can also encourage reviews. A lot of people still shy away from this social media phenomena that we've all become to know as a staple in our lives. And whether it's something people are doing or not, the truth is it is part of your brand today. And it does lend way to enhancing your credibility with consumers, because it's a lot of times the first place people go to search for you. So you definitely want to stay current with your LinkedIn and Facebook and social media efforts, and you do want to be consistent about it. Also, join your local Chamber of Commerce, network in some business groups, and see if there are some opportunities for strategic partnerships with other local businesses. Maybe you can leave discount cards at another business, or when someone buys a service there, they also get a discount to come try you out. These co-marketing strategies help customers who may not have found you organically find you through a recommendation from another business or service that they already trust. Finally, keep in touch with your customers through a monthly or bi-monthly email or print newsletter. This is where you can share any news about new employees, new services, different office hours, or specials coming up, as well as an article or two about something unique going on in your field that you want customers to know you're on the forefront of. People will really begin to rely on you as a resource then when you're giving them, kind of spoon-feeding them this information. This is where you build credibility through knowledge sharing and educating those customers. When they trust you for advice and information, they will come back to you time and time again and refer their friends, colleagues, and neighbors. Danielle and I know this firsthand because it's definitely one of the areas in which we spend a lot of time kind of massaging those relationships that we have, and we have a really healthy referral program as a result.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Kim. The next slide is probably the meat and potatoes for a lot of you, because a lot of small businesses are going to have to execute on most of these marketing strategies on your own. And when you're on a small budget, you need to kind of figure out where you need to hire out and where you need to do things yourself. So these are affordable, do-it-yourself resources. It's like the Home Depot of marketing, basically. So to get a logo or other collateral design, you can try sites with freelance graphic designers like Fiverr or freelancer.com. You can get a decent logo design for $5, $10, $15, depending on how many revisions you end up going through, but very affordable options. To build a great website from a pre-made template where you don't even need to know any HTML, which I know most of us don't. The most SEO-friendly and user-intuitive tools that I've worked with are GoDaddy or Squarespace. On GoDaddy, you can also buy your website domain, host your email accounts as well. If you're going to execute on direct mail campaigns, actually the U.S. Postal Service, USPS.com, has a local mail service where you can select specific neighborhoods and households by demographics to mail to in your area. For printing of brochures, business cards, referral cards, flyers, all that kind of stuff, you can use Vistaprint, or Moo.com does really high quality business cards. To keep in touch with customers, there's lots of email marketing platforms out there, but two that I feel like, and I've used probably most of them, the two I think are the easiest and the most affordable for a really a small business with less than 50 employees would be Constant Contact or MailChimp, and all charge based on how many email addresses, how many customers you end up uploading into there. And you'll need to keep up with posting social media messages, which if you're taking care of patients or running your business is not very convenient, but it does need to be done with consistency. So I would suggest a website called Hootsuite where you can actually automate your postings to Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Google+, and that'll simplify your life exponentially. So search engine optimization is a hot topic, and the rules are constantly changing and evolving. The search engine algorithms today are all centered on high-quality, extremely relevant content. That's why having a blog on your website or posting articles frequently to a page on your site is so important, because your website only gets crawled again, which means it gets scanned by the search engines and then re-ranked in the results when you have new content for them to index. It used to be that keyword stuffed into short copy was all you needed to rank, but with billions of pages online today competing for search engines' attention, they've had to hone the rankings toward just higher quality websites that utilize a lot of good content that also has the keywords in it that the sites are looking for to index. And a lot of that also is dependent on if you've built out the back end of the website, which includes putting tags behind your graphics, putting title tags on all of your pages, having meta descriptions for all of your pages, image tags and header tags. All of these are ways that the search engine actually reads your website and interprets what it is that you're doing. So these are the primary areas to focus on for SEO, writing good content with keywords, not just keyword-rich content. I know that seems silly, but there's a difference. Use longer, more descriptive keyword phrases in copy and headlines, and Google can interpret meaning better than ever before. So you'd be surprised how long the phrases can be that it'll actually find. Focus on the user experience. You want to work on driving users where you want them to go. If you want them to come in a certain way, click a certain button, fill out a specific form, you need to have it laid out in a way that it's intuitive for them to do that. The rule of thumb now is that more content is better. Longer articles, between 1,200 and even up to 1,500 words perform better in search. And you want to optimize everything for mobile. You want to pick a responsive website template, which means that when a user goes onto their web browser on their phone, on their tablet, they'll be able to easily navigate your site. The images and everything will adjust accordingly and scroll appropriately, and it'll be easy to use for them to fill out forms and access all of your navigation and all of that. And finally, you want to use unique images as much as possible and then tag them with the right keywords. iPhones take pretty decent pictures, and it's okay to walk around and take some photos so that you can get some original images on your site. So understanding how search engines work is something I've been asked to explain a lot as a marketing director, and it's really important for business owners so you can really gauge how well your site is showing up based on where it's displaying in the search results. And I always tell people, they're like, how do I find out? I'm like, Google yourself. Go in and think about, how is someone going to find my dental office in Highland Park? Well, did you Google it? It's really the best way to find it. And you can kind of build a list, which I'm going to get into, how you build your targeted keyword list in just a second. But this will help you kind of identify where you fall in the scheme of how Google is interpreting sites that you're competing with. So the top listings you see on the page are paid ads. Most people realize that. Also, usually you'll see paid ads along the right-hand column. Those are starting to go away just because the conversion, the click-through rates on those has been so low. And then the first 3 to 4 listings below that section are actually your organic listings. Sometimes the listings below the organic are ranked because they're favorable content because they've been advertising. There's sort of, if they have higher backlinks. So there's a few ways that Google actually ranks websites, but the first few local search listings are typically going to get the highest clicks because that's where people know that those websites have been targeted by Google as like the highest performing for what they're really looking for. And so actually I Googled us. I Googled flat rate payment processing, and we came up, what are we, 3rd right there for flat rate payment processing. So that's pretty decent search result.
Can I add on to that, Danielle, just to give you an idea of how much your suggestions really hammer home how much those keywords matter is we just did that in 6 weeks. So we came in, Danielle and I are both new to Singular Payments, in full disclosure, and we came in and revamped the website, we rewrote everything, and within 6 weeks we're able to gain that kind of traction on the web just by word placement alone. So these little things that we feel like weigh us down in marketing because they are time consuming, but it's kind of like the sweat equity that you have to put in to build that fundamental foundation to you to have those legs to truly market who you are and grow. So that was achievable in 6 weeks, and there it is to show it. So thank you for talking about that part, Danielle. It's really important.
Yeah, absolutely. And the best way to figure out how to get there for your business is the next slide, which is about keyword research. So my sister actually has her husband is a chef, and they've been developing a new personal chef website, and we were going through this with them and trying to identify which keyword phrases people would search for her business. And so it got me thinking, like, this isn't an obvious thing that everybody really knows, but it's something as a marketing person I've done for a long time. So we wanted to share how this kind of works. Sorry, we're getting an echo because Kim and I are sharing the same space today. So inside of AdWords, anytime you sign up for a Google Gmail account, you get access to all these other products, including AdWords. And a lot of people don't even realize they have it. So if you don't know you have it, you can just Google AdWords and go in and log in with your Gmail password, and it'll ask you to put in your website, your product or service category, your zip code to localize your search results, and then it'll start showing you keywords being searched for your products or services in your area, as well as how popular they are by the search volume that's attached to them. So these are keywords you'll use to actually build your website, pick your website URL. Your URL doesn't have to be the business name. If the business name is not search friendly, you can actually pick a URL for your business that would be more sought after organically, and then when people get there, you can establish your branding in other ways. So let's look at the keyword research examples. So once the tool is set up, this is what your dashboard will look like. And I was doing it for single, and so I was doing it for credit card processing, wide company, so this is not really localized to a particular small area, but I put a landing page for our website on there so that it can pull the information that, it reads the website and then interprets which keywords it's going to serve to you. So as a business owner, it's easy to get sucked into just thinking about the business from your perspective because you live and breathe it, and we all understand that. But to get found online, you have to actually think from the user's perspective. So what are customers potentially searching that will lead them to you? So this tool will help you identify those keywords and phrases so that you can utilize them across your content and get found. So when using the keyword planning tool, you'll need to pair the results with some, basic common sense and knowledge from your perspective as a business owner or as a manager of the company. Aside from selecting keywords with high or medium to high competition, these are like the hottest terms for what you do in your area. You need to ensure the keyword phrase is relevant, something you can actually use in content. You'd be surprised the crazy phrases that will pop out at you. Just because it's on the list doesn't mean it's gold. Just think it through. Sometimes it'll give you slang, things that are spelled wrong, a variety of things. So just, look through and be conscious about the things that you put on your list. And you also don't really need more than 50 keywords. Your website will never, unless you have thousands of pages of content, your website will never really rank well for more than around 50 keywords. And each time you do a blog post, you want to pick 1 to 2 keywords to just focus on for that particular post. And just use it, 2 or 3 times. Use it in the meta description for it, the keyword, the title tag, page tag, and the graphic image, and just so that it's all kind of conclusive together.
Okay, I'm watching the time here, and I do want to be very conscientious of everybody's time, and we have a very special guest, I think, Joe, coming up that's going to talk to you about some overhead. So finding marketing dollars is always a marketer's plight. How much money are we going to spend? Because you can constantly throw money at marketing, and sometimes you don't have to in terms of being effective with what you're trying to do, but also you have to look at those overhead costs. So I want to go over with you real quick the easiest ways to find marketing dollars to grow your business by cutting down overhead expenses, especially on crucial services. And a natural fit here is like your credit card processing, since that's the industry that we're in. Do you know what you're really paying for credit card processing? We practice what we preach. All of the marketing advice we've offered here, we deployed ourselves, so we do know that it works hands-on. When it comes to running your business and getting customers in the door, marketing, though, is just one piece of the puzzle. You also have to manage inventory to support your services, manage appointments, scheduling, charts, and other business data, so you have a lot going on. The one thing all local businesses have to use and usually don't understand by design is credit card processing. We're in the industry, we get it. So our motto is transparency, and one of the easiest ways to lower your back office overhead is by lowering your credit card processing fees and the percentage you pay to the processor. And here's where I'm going to let our in-house expert on credit card processing take over now to explain where most small businesses run into a lot of confusion with that ambiguous language that's by design meant to confuse you. Joe Yeaman has been with Singular Payments since the conception of our business, and he's hands down one of the most comprehensive guys in the industry to talk to you about walking you through what you're actually seeing in those statements each month and how you're being charged and percentage rates and all that. So Joe, if you'll please take over, we would greatly appreciate it.
Thank you for that warm introduction, Kimber. Hello, everybody. Like she said, my name's Joe, and I want to talk a little bit about the different pricing structure merchants are used to seeing for their credit card processing. Now I know that we're kind of back up against the wall as far as time, so I'll do my best to give you the abridged version and keep everything short. Now, historically, there have only been 2 ways for merchants to be billed for credit card processing. Let's first talk about the tiered method, which you can see on the left side of the slide. Now, with this model, you can have anywhere from 2 to 8 different rate categories. Usually, they're going to be defined by terms processors have made up, such as qualifying, mid-qualifying, or non-qualifying. Now, you probably ask, well, why does that matter? what most merchants don't realize is of the almost 900 different types of credit cards on the markets today, such as rewards, prepaid, flex spending, business, on and on it goes, each card has its own individual acceptance rate. So think about it like this. Every time a customer pays with a card, whether it's face-to-face or you key it in, that situation in itself presents a unique cost. Now the trick is with tiered processors, they get to choose whether that card qualifies or does not qualify. Now usually providers who sell this pricing only talk about the lower qualified rate, and they show merchants tremendous savings to lure them in to get them to sign up for that low, more or less teaser rate. Now sadly, merchants are never ever going to experience anything close to that proposed savings because only a small percentage of their overall sales volume will actually fall into that qualified category, while the vast majority of your sales would be placed into a more expensive, either mid, partial, or non-qualified rate category. This structure is all about appealing to our consumer instincts. If we see a low number on paper, there's a tendency to block everything else out. And that's exactly how you're going to get yourselves into trouble with this sort of pricing model. Now, the second method you can see on the right side is called cost plus or interchange plus. With this pricing structure, processors get to pass through any and all fees associated with interchange to the merchants. That means if there's a legitimate fee to pay by Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express, and now PayPal, you're going to see that itemized on your merchant statement. Now, in addition, processors are going to charge you a markup on the sales volume you process, additional transaction fees, and lots of other miscellaneous junk items that they'll sneak in there. Now, in all fairness, if you truly know the ins and outs of interchange, what all the rates should be, and what exactly is required for each card type to receive the lowest rate, this is not a bad system. But the problem, previously mentioned with the other pricing model, is there's hundreds of card types. The vast array of cards have many factors that can increase their cost for acceptance. Processors will always receive their markup no matter what. And lately, we found many processors are now, quote-unquote, padding the interchange rates to make even more profit off of their customers. So, for example, they might show you a card that says it costs 2.5% to accept, when in actuality, that card only costs 2.05% to accept. Because you don't know all the ins and outs of the interchange, it's very easy to be manipulated and taken advantage of. The biggest pitfall I can think of for merchants in this structure is processors have zero incentive to assure you're receiving the best rate, because no matter what, they get to pass everything through, and then they make their plus on top. At the end of the day, both of these pricing models offer you the exact same thing, multiple rates and fees. And because of this, what you pay overall at month's end is always going to be fluctuating. Danielle, the next slide, please. So the way that we approach credit card processing is entirely unique, and we're the only company out there that does it this way. We're all about simplicity, straightforward approach, making things as easy as possible. We offer customers one number that covers all the different costs for processing. And because we do that, we're able to help you save time and money on a service that you already have in place. Next slide, Danielle, please. Now, instead of the blanket pricing approach that tiered and cost plus processors offer, we come up with a customized flat rate for your business based on 3 primary factors. First, we're trying to establish the card type your customers are paying with. Sometimes they're rewards cards. Sometimes they're prepaid. Sometimes it's a flex spending or some sort of health savings account. Sometimes it's a debit check card. Like I said earlier, there's about 900 individually priced cards. So we try to get a really good idea of what types of cards your customers are regularly presenting. The next step is we look at how you're accepting that payment method. If you swipe the card, it's charged one rate. If you key it, it's charged another. In order for us to come up with one number that applies for all situations, we kind of have to have a good idea of how you're primarily going to be accepting those cards. The last bit is the average ticket size. Now, if you take your total sales and you divide it by the number of transactions, you can see very easily what a customer spends when they come in to see you at your practice. Now, this fixed rate pricing model not only helps merchants lower their cost for card acceptance, but it also eliminates any needless junk fees that you may be paying. Next slide, please. The merchant statements. Now, this is a thorn in the side of many people that accept credit cards because they get a bill at the end of the month. They have absolutely no idea why they paid so much and what they were actually paying for. Now, most of these statements seem like they're written in another language. That's not coincidence. It's an intentional design by the processors to confuse their clients. With all the different line items spread out over multiple pages, sometimes they even spread them out over multiple months. Making sense of what you're reading is practically impossible. Now, our statements are designed in such a way that it makes your accounting and month-end reconciliation painless. If you take your total sales and you multiply it by your customized flat rate, you'll be able to calculate exactly what you'll pay for processing at month's end. This takes out all the guesswork, making it easy to know your true bottom line without any speculation whatsoever. I'm going to turn it over to Singular Sam and let him tell you a little bit more about our approach and how we do things differently.
Can't hear the video, huh? Oh, is it because I'm muted? Okay, let's try it this way. The payment processing industry is full of shady characters, bait and switch tactics, and overcomplicated rate plans and billing statements, all of which confuse and infuriate you, the business owner. That's why at Singular Payments, we decided to do things a little differently. First, we evaluate your previous 3 payment processing billing statements and come up with a single, custom flat rate that we guarantee will save you money. You even get this shiny savings certificate to back it up. Your custom flat rate with Singular Payments is a bundled fee that really does cover it all. For real, we don't tear out or charge up your statement in any way, and we back up the savings promise we make you by having no cancellation fee. We'll even pay up to $300 to help you pay off your current payment processor's cancellation fees to come try us out. And if you're not wowed once you're here, you can leave us with just a 30-day notice so we can try and make it right first. One last thing, now that you're already jazzed. Our industry-exclusive savings guarantee says that during the first 90 days, if we haven't promised, we'll not only write you a check for the difference, we'll fix the problem so that you receive the savings guaranteed each month. Now that's simple. Flat rate for real. Welcome to the Singular Payments difference. Now get back to doing what you do. We've got this covered. Okay, Joe, take it away.
Thank you very much. And if anyone cares to watch that video again, it lives on our website, singularpayments.com. It's right on the home page. These are some of the primary industries that we serve. Now, in order to provide this custom flat rate program, we primarily work within these industries. These type of merchants mainly accept their payments face-to-face, and the types of cards their customers present is usually lower in associated costs. Now, we are willing to try and work with merchants outside of these verticals, but they're not as ideal candidates for our flat rate pricing model. Little company history about us. Like Kimber said, we have been around since 2009. I have been with the company since its inception. We are the only custom flat rate payment processor out there. Many people will portray themselves as a flat rate, but there's always going to be multiple rates and fees. We're the only one, so what you get from us is truly unique. We were founded in 2009 by industry veterans with combined 40 years of experience in the industry. Last year, we processed over $1 billion in annual sales for business owners such as yourself here in the United States. We are one of the few endorsed providers to be able to offer American Express OptBlue program. and this makes a traditional, very expensive card type less expensive to accept than ever before. And, you know, we're also endorsed by what we call our savings fanatics. Here's the easy 4-step sign-up process. Now, like everything else we do, we aim for this to be simple, straightforward, and most importantly, secure. Step 1, request a quote online, submit your 2 most recent billing statements, we'll calculate your custom flat rate, and have the results back to you within 24 hours. Step 2, we show you the average monthly savings amount we'll guarantee and put that on a new shiny savings certificate. Step 3, if you decide to move forward, we have you fill out a secure application online. Usually takes customers about 3 to 5 minutes. Step 4, new merchant account number is assigned, terminals programmed, sent out for delivery. If you're going to process payments online, we'll give you a quick training on how that would work. Now keep in mind, we do absolutely all of the setup for you. You can either process with a physical terminal or via a terminal on your computer for no additional fee.
Thanks, Joe. We
You're
would
welcome.
love to talk about our savings fanatics, but we're out of time and we are over. So I do not want to, you know, take up anyone else's day. So Kim's going to tell you real quick about our referral program because I know we have some of our loyal savings fanatics on the phone and we want to make sure you know.
Thank you, A, for your time today. We really do appreciate it, and we appreciate your patience with us going over here just by a few minutes. We do value everyone's time. We do offer a Refer a Friend program. If you share the savings with friends, colleagues, or if you're selling your business and you pass it along to the new owners, when you refer a business that starts with us, we'll send you a check for $100 to thank you. It's really easy for you to submit referrals on our website. We've really worked on enhancing that user experience so we kind of can walk you through everything we're preaching here today. And at the end, winning, our Savvy Savers get a $25 Visa gift card just for requesting a free savings analysis for flat rate payment processing. It can't hurt. See how much we can truly save you. We don't save you. You can request your savings analysis once again on our website. The link's there provided for you. And to switch to a flat rate within 30 days, we'll give you a free EMV terminal. We'll also give you up to $300 towards your current card processor's cancellation fees. That's a real sticking point for a lot of people because they are bound to these contracts and they've been a victim of these bait and switch tactics that go into the industry. So we'll work with you to get you out of those contracts and those cancellation fees. With us, you will have no setup fees. You will have no cancellation fee. And all we ask, just as a common courtesy, is a 30-day notice to cancel if anything should come up. Since you were a part of our webinar today, we would love to hear from you soon. We're all in the business of trying to make money, so to get these deals, you must sign up within 30 days of this webinar by May 2nd of 2016. And we thank you kindly for your time today. We hope you have found everything beneficial, and we will be doing more webinars coming up in the future. With that.
Thanks, Kim. We're going to send out the recording tomorrow, and we'll also include the link again to this landing page so that you can make sure you get your $25 gift card if, you know, accessing flat rate payment processing is of value to your business. Thanks, everyone. Have a great afternoon.